Hi guys, welcome to episode 1 on the Jennie Githae podcast hosted by yours truly, Jennie Githae. Let me start by letting all of you, my followers, know that I am so grateful for all the love and support you have shown me since I launched this podcast. I see all the positive comments on my pages. I see all those love emojis. I receive all those blessings and words of affirmation you're sending my way. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Being on air for me has been such a personal dream. And being at a point where I feel I'm on air with a purpose complements my dream in ways you could never imagine. I believe myself gifted in this area, and I keep learning, doing research to ensure I bring you the latest information on all the opportunities in Australia and all the migration pathways available, hosting different stakeholders on this chair. Now, I am not a migration lawyer by profession, and all the information I share here is based on my own experience and the research I have done. I, however, intend to host the key personnel in these areas, and in our second episode, I'll be hosting one of the universities here in Australia. Please send all your questions, and we will be asking all these questions to the university representative. For all my new followers, welcome. This channel is all about opportunities and pathways available in Australia, motherhood, and a lot more of information. I realize most of us in Africa or other places, around Africa know a lot about other overseas countries like the US, and hardly do we have much information about the country down under, that is Australia. So stay tuned. Hit that subscribe button and follow me on all my social media platforms and pages. I go by the name of Jennie Githae on all socials, that is IG, Facebook, and TikTok. Also, for all business inquiries, please email me on jenniegithaepodcast@gmail.com. I also want to say I see the inquiries and I appreciate the value you're giving my brand. On to today's episode, I would like to share about my migration journey from Kenya to Australia. I know many people will relate with me. I believe more will learn and even more will be inspired to venture into this beautiful Australian dream. I studied like any other person back home. I actually went to a very ordinary, or let's say common, primary school. All my alumni from Kangware Primary School are here, so hi to all of you. I cleared primary, I went to high school, and after my results were released, I immediately knew I wanted to do nursing. Now, I didn't know where or how I would study, but my desire was clear. I always wanted to be in the medical field. In this episode, I'm going to give a lot of people, or people I would love to call my destiny helpers, their flowers. So allow me to honor these people, to really give them their flowers for the role they have played to see me get to where I am now, and especially to steer me onto a nursing career or nursing pathway that I love very much. I am a result of many destiny helpers along my way that pushed me closer to my dreams and purpose. Now, through my church, where I was an active youth, a friend to my family, and I'm going to name him Patrick Muthengi, introduced me to an amazing nurse who by then worked at the Nairobi hospital, and her name was Phoebe. She also happened to be a church member in my church. So look at that. Sometimes it is exactly where you are that God has placed people who are supposed to be your destiny helpers. Now, Phoebe suggested I apply to the Nairobi Hospital School of Nursing, famously known as the Cecily McDonnell School of Nursing. And right now, I would just like to really thank Phoebe and Patrick Muthengi. I am forever grateful for directing me or pointing me to the direction of the Cecily McDonnell School of Nursing. I will give you a very short story on my very first visit there. Now, on this very first visit there, I was like, say, 20-year-old girl. I went to this prestigious institution, and it's prestigious. I had driven, along there, and I had seen the Nairobi hospital for many years. I never knew they had a nursing school. So I I went in, and a really professional, soft-spoken lady by the name of Evelyn was the first person I met. Now, Evelyn, receive your flowers. You are truly a blessing. Evelyn worked, or I believe she still works, as a secretary stroke PA at the School of Nursing. And when I met her, it is how she spoke to me. It is, I think for me, how I felt seen by her. She saw my desire. And at that point, I didn't have everything figured out, whether the school fees, did my parents have enough school fees to pay for the institution? I just knew I wanted to study nursing. So Evelyn gave me all the paperwork I needed, and she booked me for an interview, which I did and passed. And this is sometime in January, and mark you, the nursing class commences in March. At this point, like I said, we didn't have all the fees figured. As higher learning fee is expensive. We know it's expensive in Kenya, especially when you're not getting that help backup. And, Cecily McDonnell at that point being a very private institution, I didn't think they had the option of having the help loan. So anyway, we didn't have everything figured out. But I just want to pause at this particular moment and tell you, in life and in your dream, there are going to be so many dreams that are not going to have a way of being figured out. You won't have figured out everything. You just know this is what I want, but you don't know how you are going to get to it. Regardless, start anyway. Regardless, go for it. You may not have everything figured out, but if you are a believer like myself, or if you have faith, you believe in God, you know that God always comes through. And come through did he. I studied my full 3 years and even ended up being awarded the best practical nurse that year. I'll have my production team post that placard here because I have it in Australia, and it constantly reminds me of what I'm capable of, regardless of what stands on my way. At this point, I really want to give flowers to my big sis, or our firstborn sister, Liz Githae. Thank you for encouraging me. Thank you for seeing my passion and fanning it. I would also really like to honor and appreciate my godfather, who I'm not going to mention his name, but you know yourself, Dad. Thank you so much. Thank you for seeing me through this institution and seeing me through nursing. I would also like to honor my biological dad, a man that I love dearly, a man who has been a good friend to me, my dad, Patrick Githae, for constantly reminding me that you love me, visiting me while in this institution, and being a friend to me. You made sure I never lacked, and I always had airtime. At that point, I think airtime was one of the most important thing, because everybody wanted to have bundles to be able to check what's happening on social media. You also just want to have airtime to chat with your friends and call family back home. So thank you so much, Dad. I love you so much, and you have been a big rock to who I have become now. The Nairobi Hospital School of Nursing for me is the best nursing institution in 254, and let me dare and say this, it is actually the best nursing school in the whole of East Africa. Why? We had a great syllabus. We had the best syllabus, if I may call it. We had weeks of blocks where we had 6 weeks of blocks where we studied theory and did a lot of group work, and we had months of wards where we practiced on our nursing skills. We engaged one-on-one with patients. We had mentors who had already qualified as nurses, who guided us and showed us and really corrected us. We had our lecturers still following us in the wards to make sure that we were at the best level in terms of nursing schools, nursing knowledge, interaction with patients, and just having that human touch, and that goes a long way. I'm forever grateful to all my lecturers. I'm forever grateful to the amazing nursing fraternity and all my colleagues at the Nairobi Hospital. God bless you. God bless you. And we see what you do. Keep doing what you do, and I believe everything you do is worth it. Now, after graduating, I worked for about 5 years at the Nairobi Hospital, and during this time I learned the skill even more. I harnessed my skills. I interacted with people. I learned how to manage my time, because at this point now I am living at home, so I'm having to catch a bus or a mat in the morning to be dropped at the Nairobi hospital, do my shift, go home. So it just gets you into the grind of learning and working and saving and everything, and just being an adult, because literally now you are a full adult with a full pay slip. Now during this time, I was chatting with a cousin of mine who happened to be in Australia at that time. Herself, she was working as a registered nurse, and she kept sharing with me some of the opportunities available for Kenyan registered nurses like myself. And you know me. If you know me, you know I do not sleep on opportunities. And that's why I keep challenging you, my followers. Don't sleep on the opportunities someone shares with you. Try, venture out, see where that could lead you. Now, she directed me to an Australian education agent based in Westlands, Kenya. I have to give these people their flowers. Options Education Agency. My counselor there was an amazing professional lady. Again, Isabel, receive your flowers. And I highly recommend them. And I highly recommend Isabel. I recommend Options Education Agency. They guided me proper. She had a look at my credentials. She guided me through the courses that I could study based on, my credential at that time, being a registered nurse and having 5 years experience. She basically, for me, charted a map for me to Australia, and she walked the journey with me. I did my IELTS, and IELTS is the English exam we have to do, especially coming from a country that doesn't have English as their first language. I know we learn in English, we study in English, however we still have to do IELTS. It is a test that you have to practice for. Basically, hardly do you fail, but you need to practice. So don't just assume it. So practice for it. I did my IELTS. We applied to Flinders University and I got accepted. My offer letter was out. So when the offer letter came out, I was guided to write my GTE. And then the greatest challenge, I think, for me at that point was getting bank statements, because there was some sort of civic unrest in the happening in Kenya at that particular time. So the bank statement was slightly higher than what they were previously asking for before. Anyway, like I said, if this is your passion, then you have to keep pushing. I got one. And let me say that a bank statement can be under your name if you have, a good bank statement with a bank, or it can be under a relative as long as you can prove relationships. So whether it's your uncle, your auntie, a cousin, so long as you can be able to prove relationship with your birth certificates, they can always offer you their bank statements as proof that they are going to, you are going to supply that bank statement to an institution here. Now, at this point, I needed to get my finances in order to pay for the first semester, which is mostly the requirement as per then. I think it's still the requirement as per now, but I'm definitely going to get all this information answered in our next episode, as we are going to be hosting an Australian university representative. Now, since I had already known I will need the money, on top of my nursing pay, which I was saving, I was also doing a side gig. I was a farmer. My dad had given me some space in our home, and I was rearing about 500 chicken layers. I was supplying eggs to the shops around my neighborhood. I was a very busy girl at this point, because I was multitasking between my nursing shifts, which were many, and I was also taking extra shifts, and my farming gig. My dad was always there to give me support, so he'd help me feed the layers, and we had, a system where they would get their water, but he also helped me to supply the eggs. And as well, to give me a big boost, I sold all these chickens, and I used the funds I had gathered and some of my savings, and I paid for my first uni semester. Do I regret that decision? No. And actually a big no. It's actually the best decision I ever made. Before I knew it, my I got a confirmation of enrollment from the uni, and by this time, I had already resigned from my previous job. Now I know, or then Isabel told me I shouldn't have resigned early. Ideally, or what she would have advised me, was to wait until my visa is out. So to everyone who's waiting for a visa, or you intend to apply for a visa, don't resign from your job yet until your visa is out. It is so important. And anyway, you still need that income, because then you've got to pay for the flight ticket. You need some upkeep when you come here. So please keep your job. We lodged for my Australian visa. I did biometrics, I did medicals, and I waited for this call or this email. And I kept praying to God, and I kept telling God, please give me this visa. And in November, my visa was out. And who informed me about my visa? Again, Isabel. Literally, she works or options education agency. They walk with you this journey until they basically see you at the airport, and they tell you, see you on the next side of Australia, where they have several offices as well here. Now, I would be coming to Australia to pursue a bachelor's degree in nursing and again further my career. In January 2018, I migrated to Australia, and I'm going to ask my production team again to post a few photos, just get to see a glimpse of me, and my family escorting me at the airports. And let me tell you, migrating to Australia has been one of the best decisions I have made for myself. The first year was challenging. I believe it is challenging for everyone. It is challenging basically to move from one school to another. You literally have everything new, because here I had to learn the system. I had to do an aged and disability course just to get certified work in the institutions, and this is on top of now having my uni that I'm studying. But having these jobs, when you come, it is very important. So I really advise you, when you get on ground, make sure you get this aged or disability course done as soon as possible. It has great pay to start with, so you're basically able to study and save up towards your fee and support yourself while you're still here, especially if you're not receiving help from home. If you're receiving help from home as well, do the course just to be able to supplement on your other needs. And as well, it gives you a lot of exposure and experience, so I highly recommend it. My advice is this: when you get your visa and you actually relocate, whether to Australia or any country, please walk the narrow path. There are so many disruptions, because first of all, there's a new lifestyle. You probably want to have all those social media clicks in your new car, in your new, in your new place. You want people to see where you are. There's also a lot of pressure from home. Oh, you went to Australia, please send us money. There is peer pressure as well here, and even loneliness. So as much as possible, when you land, and I keep telling people this, and I keep telling people, especially the ones I have advised, please look for a Kenyan association within the state you have landed. Like in Adelaide, we have the Kenyan Association of South Australia. Begin to connect with Africans, begin to connect with Kenyans. Learn, but do not lose yourself. I always say God will use people to be a blessing. Volunteer during these Kenyan activities. It goes a long way. Join a good church. I wouldn't overemphasize that. Be active in the youth and basically in the community. One thing about countries abroad, your portfolio basically is built from who you are around the people that you're interacting with. As well, every person's journey to Australia is extremely unique. My journey is extremely unique to myself. We may have come to study the same course, we may have come as nurses, but then my journey is extremely unique to myself. So don't get here and start hearing so and so, they changed their course, they're doing this, or they've decided not to go to uni, and then you start doing the same. Please consult with your agent, consult with your migration agent, so that you're not hopping from one course to another without a clear format, and then down the line you are in trouble, or you're moving from one state to another. Please walk the narrow path. Again, do not miss school without a valid reason. And if you do, because we are adults, something could happen, please send an email. Here, the lecturers are very, what's the word? They are very accommodative. They really want to hear from you. They also understand that we're basically migrants. We're still finding our way. So please make sure you communicate. Submit your assignments on time. If you haven't completed your assignment, request for an extension. They will honor that and they will give you an extension. Just basic things like those. Communicate. Now, you might want to know, so what are you doing now, Jennie? You finished, you graduated. What are you? I'm a full-time mom now. I am a wife to an amazing man. I'm also an entrepreneur and I'm a registered nurse. And now I am a podcaster. When I look back, would I still relocate to Australia? Absolutely, yes. There are so many opportunities. The system works. There is plenty of support from the government in matters education, in matters healthcare. The weather is amazing. And if you keep up with the trends, you know that Adelaide has been voted as one of the most livable city in the world. And I do happen to be in Adelaide, so I'm basically in the best or one of the most livable city in the world. Why wouldn't you want to be here? You know, even if it's just to study and then say, get your credentials and go back home, or even settle, you know, do what you can and eventually decide, you know what, I've studied, I've made the money I need to make, now I want to go and retire home. I highly encourage you to really consider Australia as a destination and also as a place to live. It's my prayer though that through this channel, I am going to encourage everyone. I am going to inspire some to pursue and want to live this Australian dream. Now, I have been posting the current job opportunities on all my social media pages. I will keep posting more. Please check them out and share widely. Most of those opportunities, all you have to do is submit your resume, submit your CV to the email address provided, and let them guide you into the next step. Don't be the one to tell people, oh, it's not doable, these things can't happen. Don't listen to naysayers. Don't listen to people who want to discourage you. You try. You just never know where this Australian dream could lead you. Having said that, at this point, I just want to say thank you to all of you, my followers and viewers, for tuning in, listening to me. Please comment. Do you relate to my journey? Was it similar to yours? Do you intend to take the same journey as myself? Please comment. I'd really like to hear from you. If you're intending to relocate to Australia as an international student or as a profession, please comment. I'll be, like I said, I'll be hosting different people. I'm going to be hosting universities who are going to guide us on how to apply to the unis. I'll host migration lawyers who are going to advise us on how to migrate as professionals. So comment, and I will definitely get to answer all your queries. And like always, we do like to honor and really appreciate our collaborators or our partners. Jennie Githae podcast has collaborated with one of the best real estate company in the 254, and that is Icon Prime Properties. Now, at this point, I just want to remind you, if you're out there and you're still looking forward to investing in land back home, if you're looking for a legit company to walk this journey with, Icon Prime Properties is the company to walk the journey with. There are some flyers you can see here and a telephone number. My production team is going to make sure is posted here. Please call them, contact them, and inquire from them on the plots that they have, on the current plots that they have. They are going to walk the journey with you from the point you meet them to the point where they hand to you a title deed. Icon Prime Properties is the real estate company to work with. So please ring this number and contact them for more. Thank you so much, Icon Prime, for collaborating with the Jennie Githae podcast. We really appreciate you. So thank you to all my viewers for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Please share, and like this video. It goes a long way to support my channel. And until next week, same time and same place, have a blessed week. Bye bye.